Right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Sincere Shalom to all you brothers who be pushing this word around the globe in truth and sincerity. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. The true Hebrew Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Latinos, Dominicans, Haitians. We are all the biblical Israelites. Our bloodline goes back to the man named Jacob, who was then later named Israel. So therefore we are his direct descendants. We are the Israelites. This also applies to any of you Confucian and Face Akim who may be scattered amongst the nations. But this word has resonated with you, and you're coming back to the knowledge of your true power, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the one true God, the Heavenly Father of the Bible. Yahweh Shai being the name of his Son. So I'm just going to do a quick lesson today, and I just want to touch on a few things that have been coming up recently. For example, we're entering a time when YouTube has recently announced that it's going to be cracking down on so-called hate speech. Now, a lot of Akim have been doing videos on this topic, and this is just bringing us, if not one step closer to the famine of the word. You know, we're already perhaps even in the famine of the word, because the scriptures say that this gospel shall be preached all around the globe, and then the end shall come. So the only reason why Esau will be able to do anything against this gospel is because the Most High has allowed it. So if it's the case where this word has indeed gone out and the elect are sealed or nearly sealed, then it means then the famine of the word will come. Now, it's going to be a very interesting time, because I think when Esau starts cracking down and coming down harder on us and persecuting the saints, which are the Israelites, the prophets who be teaching this word, the scriptures say that the Lord's going to raise up a standard. But I guess to some of the younger brothers who might be younger in this faith and not maybe as built up, there might be a sense of, I don't know, fear of what could potentially happen or what Esau could do. Now, I was thinking about this, because personally I'm not really fussed, because I put my faith 100% in Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and if I've got to die for this truth, I'm willing to go, because my life is, I'm practically dead already. The life that I live now, it's not living, but that's just me. And obviously it's easy to say this when you don't have a gun to your head or a knife at your throat, but the Lord's put me through a lot of situations which have brought me to this point and given me this level of faith. So I was just meditating on the book of Psalms, and I thought I'd do a quick lesson on these, because I think, you know, for some of the younger Akim, it would be good to boost their faith. So I'm just going to read through some of these Psalms. I'm going to go through Psalms 1 through 5, just to let you know that you don't need to fear, because if you're with the Lord's going to fight for you, yeah? So I'm just going to get into it. So this is Psalms 1 and 1. It says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but they are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish." Now, who are the ungodly? You so-called Edomites, and you other 17 nations. You are also ungodly. The only righteous are the Israelites, which are the true saints, and the only nation which Yahweh is dealing with, pursuant to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. He's not dealt so with any other nation. And in the book of Ezra, I believe it says, the world was made for our sakes. So this whole world, this whole universe, this whole creation was made for the sake of the Israelites. So put your faith in Yahweh that he'll deliver you from whatever situation you may be in. Or if it's your lot to be taken out, just like, say, for example, John the Baptist was taken out, he was beheaded. If it's your lot to be taken out, then, you know, you got to eat that portion, man. You can't One of the brothers usually says a term. He says you got to get down for your crown. You can't just roll up and expect to make it into the kingdom without going through persecution or tribulation, because the scriptures also say that the servant is not greater than the master. And if Yahushua had to be crucified, then how much more us? Because in that incarnation, Yahushua didn't even sin, but he was paying for his previous sins in his previous incarnations. But us, speaking of myself first and foremost, I sin every day. It's not like I want to, but obviously I'm in this mortal flesh, and as much as I want to keep the law, there's certain things that I might do wrong. For example, on a Sabbath, you might end up spending money buying lunch or something. You're breaking a Sabbath, breaking the law. And the scriptures say, what does it say? If you break one, you've broken them all. Something to that effect. I'm just using that as just one example. There's plenty of other things that you might go off on or might not do wrong. Or for example, like right now, I'm wearing clothes, wearing mixed fabrics. That's breaking the law. So there's 613 laws which we're supposed to keep, but we can't keep them in this flesh at the moment. But once we get raised up and we get changed and we get those spiritual bodies, then we're going to keep the law 100%. And that's something that we need to look forward to, because you got to ask yourself, if you're scared to die right now, I'm just going to put it real. If you're scared to die right now, what are you really holding on to in this world? Because it's not like you can avoid death forever. It's going to come for you sooner or later. And who knows what the circumstances might be. You might just be walking down the road one day and you get hit by a car out of the blue. Or, anything could happen. You could be walking past the building, maybe a window falls out and it falls on you or something, and you get cut by the glass and die. Those are just hypothetical situations. But I'm saying, if you've got to die, you might as well make your death worthwhile. At least this is my mentality. So therefore, if you're going to die for a cause, and the greatest cause to die for is for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, if that makes sense. And this is just me, my reasoning. I should really let the scriptures talk. So let's move on to Psalm number 2. It says, "Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. Yahweh hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve Yahweh with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but little. Blessed are they that put their trust in him." Now, this is a beautiful psalm, and there's some precepts which I'm going to get into. It says, in Psalms 2 verse 9, it says, let me just jump to 8. Psalms 2 and 8, it says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." Now let me jump to the book of Revelation 2 and 25. Because by linking these things up, it should boost your knowledge and increase your understanding. And with that, it says knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of the times. So if you trust in these scriptures, there's nothing to fear. So Revelation 2 and 25 says, this is Yahushua saying, he says, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father." Now I want to jump into Matthew 28, because we need to trust in these words. The only thing you can really trust in is Yahweh, Yahushua in this world. There's nothing else to put your faith or trust in. So, Matthew 28 and 18. And this is beautiful. This is when after Yahushua has been had been resurrected. And John chapter 16 it says, and the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Yahushua had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Yahushua came and spoke unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. And it says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And this is the important point. It says, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. So what that basically means is that Yahushua is with us. If we're, Lord willing, of the elect of the 144,000 and the 1/3, Yahushua is with us in every situation. So if you remember that, keep your trust on him, you know what I mean? He's always going to bring you through whatever situation you need to go through. And if it's your lot to die in this thing, then it's your lot to die in this thing. Because in the book of Job it said, I think it's Job, it says, whoever perished being innocent. So anything that happens to you in this life is nothing less than you deserve. That might sound harsh, but it's just the way that Yahweh has it. Because, you know, we're all playing out our judgments for the things we've done in this life and previous lives. So, you know, don't expect to like just waltz into the kingdom without any tribulation or trouble. So if trouble comes your way, that's your portion, man. You've got to eat that. You've got to be a man and take it. You've got to eat it. There's no other way around it. But by eating that, hopefully you're going to be raised up. If you die, hey, you're going to come back. And then the people who put you to death, maybe you'll put them to death, Lord willing. You know, so it's just, you got to keep this thing in perspective, man. And the way to do that is by remembering that the only thing to fear, like they say, that the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. See if I can pull that precept up. Is that in Proverbs 1? Let's see. Proverbs 1. Yes, Proverbs 1 and 7. It says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So that's the only thing you've got to fear, the will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And your fear should be going against his will. If you have any sense. So jumping back to Psalms, let me jump into Psalms 3 because I'm going to go through to Psalms number 5 because I was just reading this stuff and I found it very comforting, and it says that these things are written aforetime for our learning. So let me read Psalm 3. It says, a psalm of David when he fled from Absalom his son. Yahweh, how are they increased that trouble me? Many are they that rise up against me. Now I just want to interject here and say, don't be surprised when your closest friends or your so-called closest family members end up selling you out to Esau for this truth. Don't be surprised when that happens. Because it's going to happen to many people, maybe myself included. Who knows? But it says, Yahweh, how are they increased that trouble me? Many are they that rise up against me. Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help for him in power, Selah. But thou, O Yahweh, art a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter up of mine head. I cried unto Yahweh with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill, Selah. And I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for Yahweh sustained me. I will not, this is the important point, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people. They have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my power, for thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Now in the scriptures, when it talks about teeth, that represents power. So he's broken the power of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto Yahweh. Thy blessing is upon thy people, Selah. And who are the Lord's people? Let me just bring that precept up for those who may not be aware of it. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. This is when Moses was speaking to the Israelites. It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. So what YouTube is trying to do in its censorship is stop us saying that we're a superior nation. You know, they're trying to come up against this word, but the scriptures say there's nothing you can do against the truth, but for the truth. So if Esau starts ramping up his activity, just be aware that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to do an equal measure on the right hand side. So when Esau's doing wickedness on the left, Yahweh is going to raise up a standard in us. So jumping back to the book of Psalms. Actually, let me get that precept. If I can find it. Because these scriptures are what you need to be meditating on and have in your mind. It's a bit slow today. No, I didn't find it. I don't think it's going to find it. So like, maybe I'll put that. Maybe I'll do another video going into that topic. I'll stick with what I've got. So let's go into Psalms chapter 4. And these are just great things to be meditating on in your quiet moments, you know. So Psalms 4:1, it says, to the chief musician Neginoth, a psalm of David. Hear me when I call, O power of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing? Selah. But know that Yahweh hath set apart him that is godly for himself. Yahweh will hear when I call unto him. That's a powerful verse. Let me read that again. But know that Yahweh hath set apart him that is godly for himself. Yahweh will hear when I call unto him. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still, Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in Yahweh. There be many that say, who will shew us any good? Yahweh, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us. Thou hast put gladness in my heart, more than in the time that the corn and wine increased. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Yahweh, only makest me dwell in safety. That's a beautiful one, man. That is a beautiful psalm, and another one to keep in mind if you're feeling worried about the times that are to come. So let me move on to Psalm 5. It says, to the chief musician Nelinoth, a psalm of David. Give ear unto my words, O Yahweh, consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King, and my power, for unto thee I will pray. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning, O Yahweh. In the morning I will direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not a power that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. Yahweh will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship towards thy holy temple. Lead me, O Yahweh, in thy righteousness, because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O Yahweh. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Yahweh, will bless the righteous with favour, and will compass him as with a shield. Now that's a beautiful ending there. Let me read that again. This is Psalms 5 and verse 12. It says, for thou, Yahweh, will bless the righteous with favour, will thou compass him as with a shield. So Yahweh's got this, man, and Yahweh's got us. So there ain't nothing to fear, ain't nothing to worry about. In fact, it's, you know, the way I look at it is like, I feel like it's time to grab the popcorn and enjoy the show. Because, you know, it's about to get real out here, man. I mean, you know, you're going about your day-to-day life with, you know, going through the motions, but all this shit's going to change very soon. And we're entering a time of great tribulation, such as there's never been since there was a nation. And we are living in some very exciting times. So the sooner Esau makes his move, the sooner we can get the hell up out of here. So I say let this devil do what he's got to do so we can go home. So with that, I'm going to end it off here. once again giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Karkadash. Double honours to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Sincere shalom to all you other Akim who are pushing this word around the globe in truth and sincerity. And until the next one, Lord willing, I say shalom.